Hey Merfolk fans, I'm Joe. Thanks very much for joining me today. If you'd like to support my channel, please check out the link above to my Patreon page. I'll also put the link down below in the description. I'm back with round 3 of a Modern League. The opponent is on the play here, currently at 2-0 in this league after beating Blue-Red Arya and Eldrazi Tron. So this is kind of sketchy. You guys know one-land Vial hands can go terribly wrong. But we have to keep them usually. If we draw one more land, it's just sort of value city here. So I breathed a sigh of relief when the opponent just passed with Blackleaf Cliffs, because if they thought seize out the AEther Vial, we would just have been toast. Okay, whiffed on lands for the first draw step. It's pretty rough. But Biomancer means at least that we get, a creature on the board sooner rather than later. Definitely playing against Jund here. They go with Tarmogoyf. Not a big threat yet. AEther Vial's going to go to 1. And we whiffed on lands again, so pretty tough start. Opponent, if they play Kolaghan's Command here, we pretty much just have to scoop, I think. They have Liliana, which is still pretty bad for us. I'm going to discard one of the Reejereys since we're pretty far away from doing anything with those. They pitch a Wrenn and 6, which to me seems to indicate that they have another Wrenn and 6. Okay, so they just attack with Tarmogoyf. We get to Violin the Benthic Biomancer, start swinging at Liliana. Really, really want to draw land here. This is our 3rd draw now, I think, since the opening hand. Okay, another Benthic Biomancer. So there's a lot of choices here. We can Violin a Silvergill to try to rip a land. That puts us pretty weak to another Wrenn and 6, though, because he can just pick off one of our creatures. It seems to me like the smart play here is just Violin a Lord, hit Liliana down to 2, so that if she wants to make us sack a creature, she has to actually die to do that. But I think I got a little bit fancy. I think I'll just attack in with the Benthic Biomancer for 1, and then let the opponent try to play out Wrenn and 6 and ping one of our creatures, in which case I could respond with a Lord. We're trying to sort of fight back from behind here, and that's a line that could potentially pull us ahead a little bit. So opponent does have the Wrenn and 6. They do try to ping the Biomancer, and I'm going to Vial in the Lord here to try to save the Biomancer, and I saw the potential blowout here, and it did happen. The Jund opponent pushed the Master, Benthic Biomancer got killed, and then Liliana can tick down, and she's still on board, so that was ultra painful, and now we're quite a bit behind. We've got 4 great cards in hand. Opponent's down to 2 cards, but they've got 2 Planeswalkers and a Tarmogoyf. I mean, if I had played out the Lord ahead of time, the difference would be that if the opponent wanted to sack a creature here, they would have lost Liliana, which would have been obviously much better for us. So yeah, just kind of a blowout. The opponent plays a Swamp, so they actually only have 1 card in hand. We kind of have to keep the Vial on 2 here, since 3 of our cards are 2-drops. But if I draw land, then it's going to... we have to leave it on 2. There's not too much to be said about it. So we continue to whiff on lands. I believe that's the 4th draw. At least we can... okay, so the opponent cycled their last card, which was a Barrenmoor, which is pretty terrible for us because it means that they get to return the Barrenmoor over and over again with Wrenn and 6. So Wrenn and 6 first ability lets them return a land from their graveyard. And Reed Duke and his cousin, his handle online is Jabberwocky, have been playing 2 Barrenmoors and 2 of these peatlands so that they can get a ton of value off of Wrenn and 6. And if we don't do anything really soon in this game, we're just going to get sort of buried in card advantage or card disadvantage. So Inquisition, I don't have to respond right now, but it doesn't really matter since they're empty-handed. Violin, tap down the Tarmogoyf. They make me discard. I discard the Seas because we really want our creatures. Opponent returns the Baronmoor, ticking up Wrenn and 6. This thing's ultimate is pretty powerful. It gives all of the instants and sorceries in their graveyard retrace, so any lands that they draw in the end can just be discarded, and then they can replay a Fatal Push, they can replay Inquisition. So just ticking up Wrenn and 6 to get back Baronmoor and draw cards is quite an engine. Okay, another Tarmogoyf. We have another Tidebinder Mage for that. Opponent is on 0 cards, though. As you can see, they have a bit of an engine going. So this was a turn where I could have ticked up the AEther Vial, and then I did draw a land. I could have played the land, played Tidebinder Mage, tapped down this Tarmogoyf, and had a Reejerey on board. If I get the Reejerey to 3, I could potentially kill Wrenn and 6. But I kept the Vial on 2. It was the less risky line, because if I didn't draw a land, and I moved the AEther Vial to 3, I wouldn't be able to get the Tidebinder Mage out onto the board. So let's go ahead and Tidebind that Tarmogoyf. Get Liliana out of here. Unfortunately, the opponent's going to be able to draw 3 cards this turn. The one for their draw step, one from Baronmoor, one from Peatland, and with 3 cards in hand, Jund is almost certainly going to be able to do something good. Another Tarmogoyf is pretty good. They played a tapped Overgrown Tomb, so I have a really nice window of opportunity here. I can take the AEther Vial up to 3, and then if I draw any Merfolk, I can tap down this Tarmogoyf, and then kill Wrenn and 6. So, despite being super far behind in the beginning, despite them getting this crazy value engine going, despite 3 Tarmogoyfs, these Tidebinder Mages are really keeping me in this game. So I shouldn't have said any Merfolk. Oh god. Because if I Vial in Merrow Reejerey, then I can't cast Silvergill Adept. It's just so rough. I'll play the Silvergill Adept. I have to reveal Reejerey, which tells the opponent that I have the Lord. So I might as well just go ahead and Vial this guy in now. And I could have chosen to attack into Wrenn and 6, but I wouldn't even kill him. I'd lose one of my Tidebinder Mages, so I just have to pass. So a pretty fragile board state over here on my side. The opponent gets to continue cycling this Baronmoor. Okay, so they found another Liliana. It's okay because we can just sacrifice a Silvergill Adept, but instead the opponent makes me discard, which is even better for us. I don't need this island. And they discarded what? Just a forest. So they're fortunately flooding out a little bit with all of their redraws. This is another opportunity. This was an amazing opportunity for me here. If I draw Benthic Biomancer, Merfolk Trickster, either of the 2-drop lords, I get to tap down this Tarmogoyf with Reejerey, send 6 over to Wrenn and 6, or whatever, 5 at Wrenn and 6, 6 at Liliana, get both of their Planeswalkers off the board, have 2 of their Tarmogoyfs tapped down, and quite a nice board to go into subsequent turns. Unfortunately, I'm just drawing consecutive islands here. I can't attack into this Tarmogoyf. Well, I could, but I'd only be able to get one of their Planeswalkers off the table. Since Liliana is just ticking up anyway, well, she could tick down, but I'm just going to get the island onto the board and pass the turn. So hopefully they keep whiffing. They do play a Bloodstained Mire. But, okay, so they're playing Seasoned Pyromancer, which is going to draw them 2 more cards. They're going to make me sacrifice now, and things are getting pretty rough. Cycle the Baronmoor, and I guess a Trickster is still amazing here because it could tap down 2 of their creatures, send 6 at Wrenn and 6, and 2 at Liliana. But the opponent does have 3 cards in hand at this point. I think we missed our window of opportunity. Force of Negation in game 1 is just kind of useless right now. This was pretty disappointing because, as I highlighted, I had those turns where I could have just tapped their creatures down, killed their Planeswalkers. Opponent has an Inquisition, Force is gone, and the opponent's just going to turn the corner here. Bloodbraid Elf, Dark Confidant, yeah. They make me sacrifice. Wrenn and 6 is at 7. They keep drawing cards. And yeah, I'm going to go to my draw step and then just scoop, I think. So there's what I needed a couple of turns ago, and didn't get it when we needed to, but you can see that Tidebinder Mage, extremely strong against Jund. It gave us an opportunity that we otherwise definitely would not have had. And, you know, sometimes you just whiff on the top decks. That's what happened this time. So let's go to game 2 and see if that went any better. Okay, back for game 2. Let's take a quick look at the sideboard here. This is like a very new configuration for me, and not 100% sure what's correct sideboarding-wise. Trying out some new things. I took out all 4 Forces of Negation, took out all 4 AEther Vials, took out my Singleton, Echoing Truth, and took out a Reejerey, so that's 10 cards out. I would have brought in, it looks like 2 Phyrexian Revokers, and then 2 Dismembers, 4 Relics, and 2 Kiras. So some really nice cards in the matchup. We're just hoping to get a nice opening 7 here. But we get a mulligan, which is pretty rough. And then another mulligan. And then a 1-lander. So things not looking up for us. Again, just like whiffing on top decks. It just happens sometimes. Sometimes you mulligan to a 5-card hand with 1 land, and you have to hope to draw out of it. I guess this is the second game in a row where we've got 1 land to work with. Opponent with no Thoughtseize. It's sort of merciful. But we don't draw a land, and things are immediately just looking pretty bad for us. Okay, run in 6, gonna start getting back lands. And I just scooped, whiffing on lands twice in a row on a mulligan to 5 against Planeswalkers, and the opponent keeping 7. It's just not worth my time. I'm not going to be able to climb out of this. So after going 2-0 in the first 2 rounds, an unfortunate thrashing by Jund, I did have a great opportunity, maybe 2 great opportunities in game 1, but unfortunately didn't go our way. So now we are 2-1 in this league. Please leave comments down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and please take a second to check out my Patreon page. Tune in for the next video where I'll be back with round 4 of this Modern League. I'll see you guys there. Bye.